Hey guys, it's Joe Walker here. What the flipping hell is going on? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 hints and tips to help you land the shove it or get your shove its more consistent. A few months back, I made a shove it tutorial video, which as of the time of making this video now, has well over 100,000 views. It has thousands of likes and it's helped hundreds of people learn how to shove it. So if you haven't already, I do encourage you to check that out using the iCard above, because it could help you learn how to shove it. Even with the detail in that video, I still got a lot of comments on that video with people still struggling with the shove it. And what I found was that there was a theme to people's problems with the shove it. People tend to have similar problems when trying to learn how to shove it. So what I thought I would do is compress all the answers to those problems into this video now and share 5 hints and tips with you guys on how to get a more consistent shove it. Problem number 1, and this crops up a lot in the comments, and it's a very easy one to fix, and it's that the board is either under rotating or it's over rotating. It's either not doing the full 180 or it's overdoing it. It's going like 360 or even more. Now there's a real easy fix to this, and it's take a step back. You want to take your front foot off the board and do this practice step. So once you've perfected that practice step to the point where you can do it over and over and over again without any complications, are you then ready to add the front foot? And this part is crucial. This part alone could be what helps you land a shove it. So now you have both feet on the board, you know that your back foot can rotate that board 180, however there is now your body weight on the board, so you're going to have to do something to compensate for that, and that's where the front foot comes in. So at the exact same time that your back foot is pushing backwards, your front foot needs to do an ever so gentle push forwards at the exact same time. That's tip number 1, and I can't stress enough the importance of the front foot push. Without the front foot push, just the back foot scoop will encourage the board to go behind you, not where it needs to be, which is in front of you. With the front foot push, you'll be literally pushing the board in front of you right there for you to jump on top of, land and roll away. Front foot push at the exact same time that you back foot scoop. Tip number 2 is a very simple one. Now, as you're watching this footage, I want you to take note of my upper body. I get a lot of people in the comments saying that the board's landing in front of them, and there is a very easy fix. This is simply just hunch your shoulders ever so slightly forwards. You don't want to be like bent over doing a bow, but you want to have your shoulders sort of just slightly forward of the bolts. Not to throw you off balance, but this board is going to be going in front of you if you're doing a back foot scoop and then that front foot push, so you want to be going forwards too. Shoulders lead the way, followed by hips, followed by feet, followed by boards. If your shoulders are forward, everything else will go forward. This will encourage you to jump onto the board, so hunch your shoulders ever so slightly forwards. Tip number 3 comes from quite a common comment that I get, which is that the board is flipping. Now, if you're successfully doing tip number 1, which is the front foot push, it'd be very, very hard for the board to flip. So a lot of the control with any shove it or pop shove it comes with the front foot remaining flat. If the front foot is flat like this, the board can't really go anywhere. It will stay flat and it will land, it won't flip. However, this could also be a problem with the back foot. If the back foot's toes are too far over the board will be encouraged to do the motion of a heel flip. If the back foot is too far onto the board will be encouraged to do a kick flip motion. So it could be an issue with the back foot, probably not. It's probably just you're not keeping that front foot flat. But with the front foot push, it's going to be really hard to do like a flicking motion of a kick flip or a heel flip or an off the board kind of situation. So keep that front foot flat. Keep that back foot, I just have the toes resting nicely over the edge just to give me that leverage for that scoop, and then I can control everything with my front foot. So play around with your back foot a little bit, but it's probably in the front foot. This will stop the ball from flipping. Tip number 4 arises from a comment that I see quite a lot, which is that they are able to land on the board, which is perfect because you're probably committing fully to the trick, which is excellent, but they're either bouncing too far forwards or they are leaning too far back, which causes you to slip out. And this is easily solved with your shoulders. If you keep those shoulders square, you keep your feet nicely apart, you don't land with them together like that on the board, that will really throw your balance off. You should be able to land the trick smoothly on the bolts, literally on the bolts. So keep your feet apart, keep your shoulders square. You want to be parallel with the board as everything happens, and you should be able to keep your balance. Obviously, with the previous few tips that I've mentioned, you want to be slightly hunching over so you are able to move forwards onto the board as it rotates in front of you. But you don't want to do it so much as I have a tendency to do, so much so that you bounce off the front of the board. A lot of people who bounce off the front of the board are usually the ones who are very, very conscious of not leaning too far back and slipping out. If you're leaning too far back and slipping out, just bring everything a little bit more forward, just bring everything a little bit more over the board, and you should be able to land with your balance centered on the skateboard. So do some shoulder work, keep those shoulders nice and square, keep your body parallel to the board, and that should sort out your balance issues. It should stop you bouncing off the boards forward, and it should stop you from slipping out backwards. Tip number 5, and this is the big one, this is the one that I get the most often, and it's, Joe, I can land the trick with my front foot only, my back foot keeps hitting the ground. And there is a very easy solution to this one, and it is commit. If you're at the point where you're able to do everything perfectly, you can rotate the board 180, you're landing parallel, but you're only landing with that front foot on, all you have to do is put that back foot on. It's a commitment issue only. There's nothing wrong with your shove it, there's nothing wrong with your balance, there's nothing wrong with your footwork, it's just in your head, and you need to just commit to the trick. If your back foot is trailing on the ground, you find this with pretty much every trick when you're learning it, you're ready to commit to the trick and land it. So commit to the trick and land it. So I really hope that the 5 tips in this video help you to land the shove it or get your shove its more consistent. Now the shove it is one of the easiest skateboarding tricks. However, it would be unreasonable to say that it's easy simply because it's usually one of the first skateboarding tricks that you learn. So you're probably very new to skateboarding if you're learning how to shove it, therefore it's obviously going to be presenting obstacles to you that you've just never come across in any sport before, simply because this is like the first trick that you are potentially ever going to learn. So just really stick with it. Take note of the tips in this video, take note of the tutorial video that you've hopefully watched. I'll leave a link down in the description below, there's an iCard as well. Do check that out as well, because there are some bits in there, some foot positioning that's really crucial to landing the shove it, and I do encourage you to watch that. If shove it is just not working for you, some people do prefer to learn how to pop shove it first, adding a pop and the footwork and the bodywork that's necessary for the pop shove. It's very similar to the shove it, but there are some major differences in that trick, and you might find that easier than the shove it. That's not me. I found the shove it a lot easier than the pop shove it. I can now do both. Definitely stick with both, mix it up, see which one works for you, and just go for it. The number one issue that I come across in the comments, guys, is the back foot on the ground thing. So really do just push yourself. Learn it on carpet, learn it on grass. Once you can learn it on carpet and you can learn it on grass, and you've taken away that sort of comfort of soft ground if I fall, obviously concrete is going to play with your head a bit, but just go for it, because if you've landed it on carpet or you've landed it on grass, you can land it on the ground and you'll actually guaranteed you will actually find it so much easier on concrete than you will on carpet or grass. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching this video. I really hope it's helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.